Welcome back to Bitcoin Advisors channel. Today we're going to go over the chart, Bitcoin Solana. We'll take a look at some trade setups. And I'm just going to give you guys a broader perspective of what I look at when I start to trade in the day. I've been enjoying this trading hour at about 10 a.m. After the market kind of settles out and makes a decision. Been catching some really good trades. I do want to put a little bit of focus on Solana, but starting off with Bitcoin and the trade setup that we, are looking at. Short term, Bitcoin makes a rally up to 65,561. So the signal fired off way back here on the daily time frame, and what you're going to see here, and this is what I like to do. You get a daily signal. You don't want to take it that day necessarily. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. But you want to, buy in the red zone. That's typically what we recommend. Buy in the red zone and, move your stop loss down sometimes. But I think this is a bouncy region right here. So if Bitcoin bounces right now, it should benefit Solana, and Solana has been outperforming Bitcoin by a long shot. And it is apparent in this chart. Sol BTC, good old Sol BTC, and on the breakout, even on the 15-minute time frame. So you can see, Bitcoin's been going down and Solana's been, holding flat and kind of going up slightly. So given the advantage, again, for this trend to continue, Sol BTC could make a large leg up, And just looking at this from a daily range perspective, what an ugly consolidation. You got the range lows and the range highs, and what's likely to happen after you close above the mid-range and make a higher low? Well, let's see here. So we are making a higher low right at the 50%. This is typically a good indicator that we're at least going to visit the top side of the range, and then we'll be looking for the breakout past there. Next stop loss pivot for Sol BTC is going to be this little doji candle right here. So I do like that just for a general bias right now, and something to keep in the back of our mind's eye here as stock market is going up right now. So, point for the bulls if Bitcoin's going to rally out of this area, likely to continue on with the stock market. Looks bullish. The Dow, nothing has filled the gap yet. I don't think we have any major economic data coming out this week other than the jobs data, which I think everybody's focused on politics right now. Nobody really cares about the jobs data. So this is not what we're looking for. This is what I want. Fed chair testimony on July 9th. So Powell's going to speak on the 9th. And that's kind of my opinion right now with Bitcoin is that, we maybe trade sideways and down for a little bit. Well, actually, I think we're going to bounce off that trend line. What am I talking about? But overall on the daily time frame, it wouldn't be, unbeknownst for Bitcoin to come back and, fill this wick in the mid section right there, right? So, downside 59.2. If we start closing dailies below 60,000, that's going to be a big warning sign that, this is just another lower high and we're going to make a lower low, and, that daily trend reversal might last a little bit longer. Do I think that's happening? No, I think short term, we're still in for a bit of a bounce. Let's check out, by the way, this is the Solana liquidation heat map. And you can see we've been consolidating here. I'll bring up Bitcoin in just a second. Oh boy, if I only knew how to work the zoom feature. But that next major node of liquidity right at the top side of that wick. And I think that is, I'm probably going to front run that and get out a little bit early if we do get the bounce up there. But people are now net long on Solana. Let's check out Bitcoin now. Let's look at Bitcoin. And let's see if that's the right thing to do. Okay, liquidation heat map. Liquidation levels just to see if Bitcoin has anything hot to the downside. I am looking at a mean and short right now as well. That could, so short-term liquidity down is to the downside. People are net long right now. When we see this thing flip back to net short, look at these major nodes right here. So coming in at 62.9. That doesn't sound right. Let's just measure that. Okay, so it's right in the inefficiency gap. That is where price is headed. Very, very likely. And I do believe we will at least bounce from this area at whatever this is. Bitcoin on the hourly time frame. Let's see, can we see it there? Let's get a new Bitcoin chart. I just turned $140 into $1,300 over the last 2 weeks. Yes, it's possible in the land of cryptocurrency. My name is Chris Mitchell. I am the CEO of cryptocurrencies. And I'm bringing you this video because I'm going to give you some really good information on how to buy, sell, and trade digital currency. Now, you've probably heard about a lot of people making a lot of money in crypto, but you don't feel safe or intelligent enough to make the investment. That's why I created Bitcoin 101, how to stack sats using technical analysis. It's the crypto trader's dream to starting your crypto journey. It's absolutely free. All you gotta do is click on the link in the description below and we will get you your free guide today. Not my favorite one, but that is the inefficiency gap. Well, there's one right here. Yeah, so Bitcoin, I was looking at this yesterday, and that's kind of the power of setting up TradingView and understanding what these candles mean. But it stair-stepping it down here, likely to be in this fashion, catching a bounce off of this zone right here. I do think we are going to bounce off this area. In fact, yeah, it should be good for a bounce at least. But I don't expect Bitcoin to get back down below 61,100 at least today. I don't know why I said at least today, but wow, I'm really going to redo this video. It's too hard to it is too hard to do both at once. Anything else, Brandon, that you had a question on? Link BTC making a double top, so Link might not be the beneficiary of said Bitcoin bounce at the moment. But if we're looking for trade setups, that's what we're going to talk about. Hot AI. Go back to my AI lists. So we looked at Bitcoin. We looked at the VIX. The VIX is coming down, so stock market could continue down. It is at the range lows, to be fair, right? So, you know, when the VIX goes down, stocks go up. Pretty much at the lows of, you know, going back to, well, I'd say at least November 2019. And am I going to be on the receiving end of a red candle is the question. Anyways, 15-minute on Bitcoin. I think this is actually a pretty good way of breaking it down level to level. We are kind of in the mid-range of the bottom half of the range. If you split this up into quadrants, it would look something like this. And I do believe 68,000 is kind of, you know, well, we should be bullish here and bearish here and look for some more sideways range and chop I think that is the most likely in the summer. There's a statistic, though, that June, when you get a red June for Bitcoin, a red June, ooh, look at that spicy hammer, Thor's hammer candle, and rejection so far. That's something to keep an eye on. 5 days not closing. 3-day. 3-day is bouncing off the green 55, what you would expect. Yeah, if we're going to get continuation, this is where it's going to happen from. 3 days going to close in 2 days and 7 hours. We just don't want to wick below that wick. I would say that would not be the bullish case for Bitcoin's affairs at the moment. But who knows? You know, maybe they are going to come for this liquidity and then throw it up. I just don't think that's most likely the case right now. I just don't. Gold at 2,300, silver at 2,965. Let's look at the silver breakout on the weekly. And we got the inverted head and shoulders with the breakout. And, well, pretty much as long as you're above this shoulder, you know, breakout target initiated, 36 bucks. If we start to close a daily back below, well, this last low at 26.70, it's going to look like a deviation of the range, right? And what happens when you deviate the range, right, and then you get sucked right back into it? Well, you usually go back to the top side of the range. Here would be pretty much an example out of the range. Let me get rid of this. And also note, you know, silver follows gold, but with more gains. And gold already completed this formation for the full measure move on the target, which was up at, do you get what I'm saying there? So here was the year consolidation on gold, or 10-year. 10-year consolidation, broke it out. But even knocking it down to here, this is more the one I was thinking of, right? So here was the consolidation in comparison to silver. Same thing, removing my head and shoulders, but and I even measure it from here. Oh yeah, so we did hit the measure move. If you use that as the bottom of the range, right? If you use this as the bottom of the range, right, you still got that $36 target, which, you know, if we deviate back into the range, bad. Above here, good. I do think silver could, you know, could have a bit more of a run. Definitely more upside opportunity than gold, if you ask me. Again, I'm not a financial advisor, not financial advice. Rune is something I think we should be aware of right here. Wow, what a breakdown. What a breakdown, and a short-term bounce on Rune is probably in, as we have now ticked above last week's high. But that's almost like some of the easiest bread and butter plays there. Wow, TRX on the weekly, going to make new all-time highs. This thing just keeps on going. 4-hour trade setup from yesterday. Did you see that one, Brandon? I think I took it and I got stopped out because there was just too much room. Active trades. TRX. Yeah, so it's right at entry. I mean, I'm just not willing to gamble with that much on this. Something at the top of the range. I mean, it's probably going to explode up. Look at the highs right here. TRX probably hits that $13 mark, so that's a good, you know, short-term banger. If it is gonna, you know, I do like that. Matic also, I think, is looking interesting for a retest. I mean, this one came all the way down to the macro lows. I don't know how Matic, like, was so popular. Disneyland does them, you know, everybody loves Matic, and literally it's just been a dumper for some time. And it just goes to show you got to move with the ebbs and flows of the market. You know, don't be stuck, you know, in something that is not in the right sector. You know, when it comes, and again, forget what I'm saying. I don't know what I'm talking about. ZEC, just checking this one out because I guess the trade just posted, and you know, again, courtesy of the guys out in the Philippines helping me post a lot of these trades. Shout out to you guys. On the 3 hour, so we got a 3 hour trade set up, Brandon, that has already hit TP1 and TP2. I don't like these ones because it just relate to the party. There is a 30-minute dash which already hit TP1 and 2. That's no help. A little late to the party unless it is going to hit the TP3. Injective is looking good, I think. As far as this trade setup goes, right, you can, you know, get in somewhere close to the stop loss. This is one of the power players in the market. This is, you know, Injective is like a Rune, or, you know, I mean, it was one of the top performing cryptos for the year. And this just goes to show everything is on sale right now. If you look at the alt season index, oh, Fear and Greed's back at a 50. That's good to know. Alt season index. I was just looking at this. The alt season, is this it? Yes. And so you've got, over the last 90 days, the top performing coins. Ton coming in number 1, Pepe number 2, Cas number 3, XMR. Bonk just lit it up today. I wonder what's going on with Bonk. I guess the memes aren't dead yet. I guess they're not dead yet, sir. But this is opportunity right here. When you see, these are the top performers over Bitcoin typically, right? And over the last 90 days, Bitcoin's outperforming. That means, okay, opportunity zone. What else? Generally, alt season, you know, it's Bitcoin season down here. So what happens when it reverses, right? So potentially this is where you're buying altcoins, right? And this is where you're selling. And I can tell you from the past run, just look at what altcoins did May to then, right? Which is probably the peak of the market there. January 2024, yeah. So could be accumulation zone for some of the altcoins that are on discount right now. I definitely think that is the case. Okay, I think that's it. I'm just trying to see for myself. Again, the dot trade never quite got to the TP2, but close enough is close enough. And to me, it looks like it wants to roll over short term. Looks like a little head and shoulders. And so what is the volume signature for a head and shoulders formation, Brandon? This is good for you, information for you. And something it took me a while to figure out, right? So on this type of head and shoulders, right? So here's your left shoulder, your head, your right shoulder. You'd want to see a large volume spike here and here. Yep. And then you'd want to see a big selling volume stick here paired with lower buying volume, right? For that kind of, you know, and that's exactly what we got. We got a large buying, a little bit smaller buying, but a big buy, and then another big buy, but less. So less buying is going on as the market is making these little peaks. Something just, you know, if the volume signature isn't there, sometimes that's a way to invalidate. Wow, and it looks like we are going to get this ENJ. What is ENJ? There's a short and a long on this one. The long is this one, the ENJ. The short is here, have no fear. And this one does look like it wants to play out. So a little bit of a sneaker, right? Sometimes you're late to the trade. Okay, TP1. Actually, I'm not very confident on this one, so forget that. But let's say you were chomping at the bit to take the trade, right? You want to enter here, stop goes here, and I would target just a quick move, right? You don't have to get a huge move, but from here to here, back to TB2, you could go back to the 786, which is right here, this level. What's the other trade I wanted to take a look at was Mina. Oh, Uni, I got smoked on Uni, and this is probably, now it's probably the time to pick it back up. And just looking at this one, Brandon, on the hourly, and, you know, again, courtesy to all the guys out there helping with these trades. Using the close below method, right, we're still in this trade if you're going for TP3, right? Do you see that? Mm-hmm. Because we never closed with a candle body closure below the stop loss pivot. The 3 hour signals typically take about 15 hours. We're way over time on this one. So to think that we're going to go for TP3 now, that was 55 bars versus 15. Yeah, it's a little bit crazy, right? But could we get the same signal on the other side, which is going to be, this was a 1 hour signal. So it hit TP1, 2, almost hit TP3, never made it. Anyways, my indicators are not lining up with my signals, but that is it for today, guys. I'm going to sign out. Have a blessed one. Take care.